Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about the Orphan-Crushing Machine. No, don't worry, this is not some twisted invention straight out of a Stephen King novel. Well, it kind of is, but not really. You see, the Orphan-Crushing Machine is actually a metaphor. Yeah, it's a metaphor for those heartwarming news stories that pop up on your Facebook feed every once in a while. You know the ones I'm talking about. This man raised $20,000 to keep 200 orphans from being crushed in an orphan-crushing machine. And you're like, wait, hold up, what's an orphan-crushing machine? Why do we need to raise money to prevent it from being used? The orphan-crushing machine is the perfect example of a news story that ignores the root cause of the problem. It's like if you had a band-aid for a bullet wound, sure, you're stopping the bleeding, but you're not addressing the real issue. And let's be real here, nobody ever asks why an orphan-crushing machine exists in the first place. Like, did someone just wake up one day and say, hey, you know what we need? A machine that crushes orphans. That'll make the world a better place. But apparently those heartwarming stories are everywhere, and they're not just limited to orphans. You'll see them for everything from cancer patients to people who lost their homes in a hurricane. This woman raised $50,000 to rebuild her house after a hurricane destroyed it. And you're like, okay, but why did her house get destroyed in the first place? Maybe we should be focusing on preventing hurricanes. The orphan-crushing machine metaphor has really taken off on social media, with people using it to comment on all sorts of news stories. And let's be honest, it's pretty funny. I mean, the phrase Orphan Hammer 2000 alone is a comedy gold. But there is a serious message behind all of this. We need to start looking at the root causes of the problems instead of just throwing money at it. We need to start asking why the orphan-crushing machines exist in the first place. So, if you see a heartwarming story about someone raising money to prevent orphans from being crushed in an orphan-crushing machine, just remember that there are bigger issues at play here, and if you ever come across an actual orphan-crushing machine, please call the authorities immediately, and maybe call a therapist too, because that's some seriously messed up stuff.